justice will be served, especially to the unprecedented nakakasuka na nakawan ng ating bayan, nakawan ng ating kaban ng bayan, the trillion flood control scandal. Makita natin na through the incisive questioning of the Supreme Court justices, the responsibility ay papunta sa Pangulo, which is really the case kasi nothing will happen, no budget will be approved without the approval of the President.
Ano po ang inyong major takeaways sa naging pagdinig po kahapon and sa public perception? Mukhang nabibigyan tayo ng avenue na na-vent yung frustration ng taong bayan doon sa mga bagay na dapat sana ay napanood natin sa congressional investigations o sa Senate investigations kaugnay po sa Pondo ng Bayan. Pero doon natin nakuha yung mga ideya na yan sa pagtalakay po kahapon sa Supreme Court.
First, I would like to give my snappy salute to the Supreme Court, especially to Senior Associate Justice Marvic Leonen, for giving us hope that still we have the last bastion of democracy. Nakikita natin if it will continue, it will give us inspiration na at the end of the day, there is still an institution that will save our democracy and eventually justice will be served, especially to the unprecedented nakakasuka na nakawan ng ating bayan, nakawan ng ating kaban ng bayan, the trillion flood control scandal. Makita natin na through the incisive questioning of the Supreme Court justices, the responsibility ay papunta sa Pangulo, which is really the case kasi nothing will happen, no budget will be approved without the approval of the President.
Sir, how is it for you na kayo rin po ay maalam sa usapin sa local government? Ginamit po yung katagang maleta sa Supreme Court, which is isa pong terminolohiya na sikat ngayon. Kaugnay po sa flood control anomaly, paglabas po ng 18 ex-soldiers dito po sa usapin ng korupsyon.
Well, they are human beings. While it is true that the justices of the Supreme Court are just like gods and goddesses who are passive, who are not, who are living a hermit life, that shows that they are listening. They are monitoring the developments of the country. And just like you and me, ordinary Filipinos, they are also appalled and shocked by the magnitude of corruption that has taken place in our country, because they are also part of the victims. Atin pera ito eh. Everyone is a victim of this graft and corruption. So they are not closing their eyes, at saka yung malita symbolizes the enormity of the graft and corruption na hindi pa nangyayari sa ating kasaysayan. Ngayon pa lang nangyayari, MJ, na that must be condemned. Talagang may hustisya na mangyayari, but apparently it is being covered up. Yung Senate Blue Ribbon Committee natin na by tradition, yan man ang body na talagang masigasig to investigate corruption, but ngayon ay sila na ang body na nagko-cover up nitong scandal na magnitude na hindi pa nangyayari sa ating bansa.
Sundan ko lang yung line of thought mo, sir. So meaning, pinapakita ng Supreme Court yung weakness ng Senado, ng Kamara at ng Kongreso na dapat yung trabaho nila sa pag-iimbestiga sa issue ng korupsyon. Bilang meron po silang oversight powers doon sa...
That is highly,
Yes, sir.
that is highly speculative, MJ. Tayo nag-observe lang tayo. The point is, sila ay, if the justices of the Supreme Court, one justice, I think, Justice Hernando, used the word maleta, talagang makikita natin na sila mismo ay nasaktan sa reported na corruption na ngayon ay mayroong mga brave soldiers who were participants of these over witnesses of this crime, and yet their testimony is being blocked, their testimony is being suppressed by the institution, which is the Congress, be it in the House or in the Senate, so that this corruption will be exposed to the public. Kasi yan naman talaga ang purpose ng why we have a legislative body. Kasi yung legislative body, it's not only designed to craft laws, it is also mandated to oversee yung oversight functions nila sa mga nangyayari sa ating bansa, like acts committed by other departments of the government. Sila sana yung vanguard. Pero nangyayari, hindi na sila nag-perform ng kanilang duty. The Supreme Court is supposed to be a passive body. It cannot act unless its jurisdiction is being it's being asked to it's being invoked. There is a actual case or controversy. Hindi ka sila pwede magbibigay ng opinion. So, ngayon, matagal na ito dapat na expose na sa public so that the public will understand. Ngayon, doon pa sa kanila. Parang sila pa, bakit kami pa parang di naman namin sana trabaho ito. Trabaho nila is to write decisions based on actual case or controversy that is being brought before them. So, it shows, to my mind, frustration and disappointment.
Opo, sir, bago lang sa partner Admar, anong assessment po ninyo doon sa pagtatanong ng Supreme Court doon po sa Solgen sa issue po nung kailangan ng approval ng presidente para po maggamit itong mga unprogrammed appropriations. Sa 2025 GAA, meron pa raw na ganoon ng provision. Pagdating daw po sa 2026 o pagdating sa budget na bago, wala raw po ganoon na parang nilalabas sa equation ang Pangulo na dapat pag ginamit mo ang unprogrammed funds, alam ng Pangulo at mayroon siyang approval para ito'y magamit.
The point is, MJ, under our setup, itong mga secretaries are alter egos of the president. They are extension of his or her personality. All acts of these alter egos are deemed to be the acts of the president unless reprobated by the president. Ngayon, hindi pwede kahit na walang batas, they cannot insulate the president of a certain action done by cabinet secretaries because that is part and parcel of the alter ego principle, the qualified political agency doctrine, na all acts of the secretaries are deemed to be the acts of the president. So, how much more if there is a law that provides that everything is to be approved by the president? So, yung theory na walang kinalaman ang presidente dito ay talagang hindi acceptable yan because, as I said, the secretaries are alter egos of the president.
Tsaka command responsibility, sir, no?
Hindi lang command responsibility as if siya ang gumagawa yan. as
Attorney,
if siya. Yan ang principle ng qualified political agency doctrine.
opo, attorney, may buntag, bukal, may buntag. Dito
Buntag,
tayo sa
Omar, oh.
kabilang po sa mga napag-usapan nga dito ay natanong nga itong Solgen kaugnay doon sa 8-point agenda ng Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr. na pagdating sa huli ay hindi nakasama doon sa naging priority. May paliwanag doon na kumbaga parang may say ang Kongreso kung ano yung kanilang paglalaanan ng pondo. Pwede po ba yun, attorney? Kung ano ba ang sinasabi ng executive, ito yung aming mga proyekto, dapat yun lang ba, dun lang mag-dwell ang Kongreso o may say ang Kongreso na hindi, ito yung gagawin naming priority?
Actually, itong budget process ay ito yung blending of powers. Nag-blend yung powers ng executive at saka legislative. Kaya nga, while it's true that the power of the purse is lodged in Congress, but this budget will emanate from the executive branch which is headed by the President. Walang budget na mangyayari kung walang proposed budget na isubmit ng executive branch doon sa Kongreso na mag-originate o mag-emanate sa House of Representatives. Blending of powers yan. So, dapat nagkasundo. Yan ang prinsipyo ng batas. In fact, may mga mechanism yan, LEDAC, na para mapabilis, alam na ng Kongreso kung ano yung mga agenda ng executive branch para iisa ang direksyon. That is the theory. Now, ang actual ay diferensya na yan. Mangyari yung parang merong conflict kung ang liderato ng House ay hindi sila congruent ng presidente, but it does not happen in our situation. Kasi walang maging speaker kung hindi binasbasan ng presidente. So, it presupposes na nagkasundo yan sila. Ngayon, as the budget process would start to roll, pag submit ng NEP, yung National Expenditure Program doon sa Congress, specifically in the House, where this discussion should emanate, should originate, under the Constitution, in the House cannot increase the proposed budget submitted by the President, by the executive branch. On the theory na ang nakaalam talaga ng pangailangan, all factors ay ang merong expertise diyan ang executive branch, kasi sila, imagine yung budget, nag-umpisa yan from the start of the year. Kasi merong down the line yan, every department, merong mga proposed budget sila, isubmit yan sa kanilang region. So in other words, merong study dyan sa executive branch. Kaya binigyan niya ng parang due recognition and respect. Kasi ang congressmen, they are not expected to study yung mga economic condition ng bansa, kasi isang congressman, ilang staff lang siya. So normally, ang concern niya ay parang parokyal. Kung anong kailangan ng kanyang district, baka pwede i-incorporate doon sa National Expenditure Program, but the program itself, nandiyan yan sa office of nandiyan yan sa executive branch. Yan talaga ang theory. Ngayon, kung naiiba na ang priority doon, kung ako ang presidente, magalit ako diyan. Kasi ako man talaga, kami man ang nakaalam. Yan ang pangangailangan ng bansa that is being carefully studied by our economic team, by lahat-lahat ng mga national security sector. So, dapat bigyan niya ng... Kaya nga, yung mga concerned agencies, they have to defend. Why? Bakit ito ang proposed budget ninyo? What is your basis? Justification, kaya nga i-defend yung budget. Para the congressmen will be enlightened. But if the Congress will be the one to change the priority, that's the abnormality. At saka ang daming tanong diyan, bakit nangyari yan? At saka hindi mangyari yan kung walang final approval din ng presidente.
Oo nga po, kasi bago pa man na magkaroon talaga ng struktura ang isang proyekto, doon pa lang sa pag-aaral, magbabudget ka na yan. Mayroon ka ng ilalabas na pera. Tapos at the end, hindi mo rin itutuloy. So ito namang mga ipinalit po nila na sinasabing mula sa unprogrammed appropriation, napunta doon sa program appropriations, yung nasa program appropriations, inilipat nila sa unprogrammed. Ito naman po hindi kagaya ng pag-aaral nila at may epekto sa ekonomiya, attorney. Kaya siguro ganito yung resulta ng ekonomiya natin ngayon.
Exactly, Admar. That is a betrayal to the Filipino people. Wala nang seryoso na yung governance. Kasi they are supposed to serve us. Pero ang nangyayari ngayon, they are mangling the budget. They are parang sa Bisaya pa, gutad-gutad ang budget. Wala sa katawan, pero tuwa silang bulsa paingon. Mauna yung nitabo. And these crimes cannot be kept hidden from the public. Tingnan mo, who exposed this? It is nature. It is God. It was God. Meron na tayong pagdududa, meron na tayong mga reklamo, pero talagang nag-expose dito yung bagyo na nangyayari doon sa Manila na it turns out na ang dami palang pinupunduan. And the President himself, who boasted it during the State of the Nation address na meron siyang ilang thousands of flood control projects na ginawa dyan sa Manila area. Pero pagkatapos dyan, nagbaha. Yun na nag-umpisa. So, ang nangyari pala, ghost substandard. So, saan ba napunta ang perang ito? Until now, wala pang clear na kasagutan. Merong mga leads na sana, pero ang daming stumbling block, ang daming cover-up. So, pagtataksil ng bayan, pagtataksil ng taong bayan ang ginagawa ng gobyernong ito ngayon.